at the forefront of politics.
Our enemy is Trump. He is the enemy. We gotta unite. If we're not a united party, we lose to Trump.
On the front lines of activism.
There's certain fights, if we don't engage, they win. This is a fundamental question of who we are.
And delivering your daily dose of comedy.
Donald Trump, when he had his physical, they had his blood pressure, and mine is higher than his. Oh. And the irony is mine is higher because of him.
From the blue wave.
We flipped enough seats to take control of the House. We control the House.
To 2020 and beyond. This is the Dean Obeidallah Show on Sirius XM Progress, Channel 127.
And welcome to the show, brothers and sisters. Wednesday, March 4th. I'm Dean Obeidallah, as always here to be your MBFF. And I've got to be honest, did not see Super Tuesday results coming. Not at all. I didn't get it from based on talking to people on the phones. I didn't get it based on polling. And it was a stunning result. Now, let me just say at the top, this is far from over. We all expected today we'd be beginning by talking about Bernie Sanders has a lead of a certain amount of delegates to Joe Biden, and ranging anywhere from 300 was the high side, which would make him uncatchable, to 50 or 60. That has not happened. And that's what was so, it's all about expectations. Expectations change, and that's where the surprise lies. And what's really remarkable to me, is that Joe Biden won in states he didn't campaign in. Joe Biden won in states he didn't have offices. Joe Biden won in states where his opponents overwhelmingly outspent him. He won in states he had no organization and his opponents had organization. This became this organic break to Biden, and it's a big question. And I want to hear from people. I'm gonna have a shorter monologue tonight so we can talk more. We have guests, but we'll take a lot of calls on this because I am so intrigued about why this happened. Why did people break? Because polling showed people made a decision the last day or two, broke to Biden way over Sanders. What did it? Was it South Carolina? Was it the coronavirus? And they wanted someone they thought who could have the experience to do that, and they thought Biden would be over Bernie. Was it the momentum from South Carolina? What made people break in the last 2 days? That's what the exit polls showing, asking that very question to people. But as everybody knows right now, Biden won every state in the South by double digits. Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, and Oklahoma. He won Minnesota, the only state in the Midwest, by 9 points, a state that Bernie had won in 2016. Yes, it was a caucus, then a primary now, but still he had won it. Biden narrowly won Texas, a state that we all thought from polling that Bernie was going to win. And he's now won Maine, a state that Bernie won last time easily. And he won Massachusetts, where Liz Warren came in third in her own state, which is certainly troubling. Sanders won Vermont, Utah, leading in California. This is all about delegates, folks. This is all about math. This gets less exciting when we talk about numbers and math, but that's what it's going to come down to. And this is going to be a slog. They're neck and neck. And the delegate count as of right now of delegates that are already allocated, apportioned, because some are not, Biden at 433, Sanders at 388, Liz Warren at 36. Reminder, you need 1,991 delegates to win the nomination. So as of now, 40% of the delegates have been voted on and almost accounted for. About 60% of the delegates are outstanding. So there's a lot of time for this to change. And New York Times projection, because it's such a weird formula. It's based on overall state delegates, then congressional representative delegates for each district. The way they're projecting it right now is that Biden will end up with, after Super Tuesday, all the delegates are counted, 670. Sanders, 589. Liz Warren, 97. So Biden and Sanders are neck and neck. No matter what, they're going to come out of this neck and neck. That's a surprise. Everyone expected Sanders would be leading by a bigger percentage. Here's a quick clip. Here's Joe Biden last night, part of his speech from victory. Here's Nina, let's play clip number 1, please.
It's a good night. It's a good night. And it seems to be getting even better. They don't call Super Tuesday for nothing. It's still early, but things are looking awful, awful good. For those who've been knocked down, counted out, left behind. This is your campaign. Just a few days ago, the press and the pundits had declared the campaign dead. And then came South Carolina, and they had something to say about it.
And then here's the closing clip of Joe Biden's speech last night talking about uniting and winning. Here's clip number 2, please.
Look, our campaign reflects the diversity of this party and this nation. And that's how it should be. Because we need to bring everybody along. Everybody. We want a nominee who will beat Donald Trump. But also keep Nancy Pelosi the Speaker of the House. Win back the United States Senate. If that's what you want, join us. And if you want a nominee who's a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Obama-Biden Democrat, join us.
And I want to play a clip of Bernie because this is a two-person race right now. Yes, Liz Warren is still in it, and she may choose to stay in it. I don't think anyone should call for her to leave. That's her choice. And we'll see what happens. From a delegate point of view, the math would say she has no chance of winning before the convention. And the next debate's not till March 15th, so we got a big gap here. But she might want to stay in through the next debate on March 15th and see how it plays out. Just her, Bernie, and Biden, and that contrast. And perhaps she can excite people and move the needle as it goes forward. I'm not sure. Or she could drop out tomorrow. I would not be surprised either scenario plays out, that she wants to stay in through the next debate and see how it plays out or not. And here's about a minute of Bernie last night, his event, clip number 3.
But tonight, I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination. And we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of this country. We are going to win. We are going to defeat Trump because we are putting together an unprecedented grassroots, multi-generational, multiracial movement. It is a movement which speaks to the working families of this country who are sick and tired of working longer hours for low wages and seeing all new income and wealth going to the top 1%.
And tonight we have people on from both campaigns. We have the National Press Secretary for Joe Biden is going to join us at the bottom of the hour for a little while. And then the second hour, Linda Sarsour, who's a surrogate for Bernie Sanders. And also she's here to talk about her new book. So we'll talk about that a lot, but we'll talk about the campaign as well. And we're going to do our best to have people on. And we had a Liz Warren surrogate on last night, Congresswoman Deb Haaland. And if Senator Warren stays in the race, we will do our best to have the candidates or their surrogates on as often as possible. We'll talk about developments, issues, so you can hear from them directly. Look, it's almost like they're starting over now. After all they've been through, Warren's still in it. But you really have Bernie and Biden. 60% of the delegates are still out there, and they're neck and neck, those two. It's whoever wins the most of the next 60%. Can that person get to 1991 in advance of the convention, meaning they've locked up the nomination? Or are we going to a broker convention or something along those lines? No one knows. But what we do know, there's a few quick things, and then I'm going to take calls. I want to hear from people in this hour to really get a sense why you think it broke for Biden. What we do know, exit poll shows that black voters led the way in the South for Joe Biden. Really broke to him. In Alabama alone, Biden beat Sanders by 60 points in terms of black voters. In Virginia, same, like 50 points. Now, Sanders did well with Latino voters in Texas and California. And generational divide, I think everyone would understand that. Younger voters, Sanders is winning, even in states where he lost badly, like Alabama. He still won the younger voters. Just younger voters were not coming out in the numbers that he needed to move the needle. And that is the reality. One good thing overall, turnout almost in every primary yesterday, except for Oklahoma, Turnout was higher than 2016, and in some states, record turnout. Virginia, the highest Democratic turnout ever in a primary for president. Alabama, turnout increased from nearly about 398,000 in 2016 to 450,000 last night. Arkansas a jump. North Carolina a jump. Tennessee almost doubled. Texas, huge jump. It went from 1.4 million votes in 2016 to last night, 2.1 million. Why? Why? Because the energy is on our side. Because Donald Trump is the existential threat. That no, you're not wrong when you think that. Our fellow Democrats around the nation see this. And in some of these open states where any party can vote, you have some Republicans who are doing the same thing. And certainly some independents going, we've had enough of Trump. And it really comes down to, when you look at Trump, do you want 4 more years of a man who celebrates cruelty, who worships at the altar of white supremacy, who defends every Republican man who's accused of abusing women, who is corrupt, whose own daughter Ivanka is profiting off the White House? Do you want 4 more years of incompetence, a man who just called this horrific virus bearing down on our country a hoax on Friday? And he can lie all he wants, but we have the audio of him saying that. And just a week ago saying, and I've played the clip, we only have 15 cases in America, and they'll be down to 0 soon. Instead, it's gone up over 100, and 11 Americans are dead. And Donald Trump, who on February 10th said, in April, the heat will take care of this. He has mishandled this virus in ways that are actually borderlining manslaughter. And I'm not kidding, but that's not what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about this race, and where do you think this is going? By the way, next Tuesday, March 10th, it's a mini Super Tuesday. Michigan and Washington State and Missouri have a lot of delegates at play. March 17th, tons of delegates. Less states, but you got Florida, Illinois, Arizona. So this is not over. It's not over. And if you like Bernie, you should be fighting for Bernie. If you like Biden, you should be fighting for Biden, and Warren the same way. But then when this is done, we are going to unite, because our nation is counting on us to unite to save us from 4 more years of Donald Trump. It's that simple. And here's the best thing of our 2 frontrunners right now, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Either one becomes a nominee, that person, whoever that might be, will defeat Donald Trump on November 3rd. Absolutely, positively will defeat Donald Trump. The only condition to that is that if we all unite and work as hard as we ever had an election. There are far more of us than them. Donald Trump got 62.5 million votes in 2016. What did Obama get in 2008? 69.5 million votes. That's when we really came out. There are more voters now. We come out. Trump gets crushed. We take the Senate. We take Maine. Lindsey Graham is fighting for his life against Jamie Harrison. If you've seen him recently, it looks like he hasn't slept in days, Lindsey Graham. He is panicking. Mitch McConnell, fight of his life. Arizona, I think we're going to win there as well. We're going to take the Senate. And we might, Doug Jones, we can do anything to help him in Georgia. We will do that. So let's take a quick break, come back, take some calls, and we're going to have the National Press Secretary for Joe Biden for about 10 minutes. We'll take calls after that. I want to hear from you. Let's make sense collectively. How did Joe Biden, he won 3 states last night. He has not visited at all. He didn't even go to them, and he won them. And that says something. Something happened on the ground the last 2 days that did not show up in the polling. Polling completely missed it. So 866-997-4748. Let's take a break. Come back. Let's talk about why this happened, what your view is. Has it changed your view about who you were supporting? The results. Be right back after this with you as my guest. At this point, the question is not who connected to Donald Trump as a criminal. The question